So, you're thinking about moving or relocating to Provo, Utah, and are uncertain about which areas you want to look at when it comes to calling Provo home. In this video, we're going to dive into the top neighborhoods when it comes to Provo. And if you stick around to the end, I have a hidden gem of a neighborhood that most people don't expect. I'm Scott Walters, coming to you from Provo, Utah, with Living in Provo. And if you're someone looking to know what it's like to live in Provo, we drop videos every week. So hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell and get notified every time we release a new video. And we have people reaching out to us all the time about wanting to relocate to Provo, Utah, and we love it. So make sure to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email when you're ready to make the move to Provo. That contact info will also be in the description below. And with all that, let's jump into the neighborhoods to live in when it comes to Provo, Utah. So I just want to show you this quick little map that I got right off of Provo City's website. These are all the neighborhoods in Provo, and I'll try to include a little link to that or a picture of that in the video. In there, they show that there are 34 distinct neighborhoods in Provo, Utah, and I've narrowed it down to what I call the top 7. Keep in mind that this is just my opinion, but also I've combined some of the areas into what I call my neighborhoods, although the city hasn't broken up maybe into a few different smaller geographic areas. But with that being said, let's just jump into what I think are some of the top 7 neighborhoods when it comes to living in Provo. Number 1 is downtown. Now, when it comes to, if your lifestyle is you want to have a very walkable neighborhood where you can walk to restaurants, dining, entertainment, mass transit, things of that nature, then downtown is the place for you. Downtown Provo consists of, it's right, if you look at the map, it's like right in the center. And it's been undergoing that city revitalization for quite a number of years now, where they've been, a lot of the companies like Zions Bank and Wells Fargo, they basically tore down their old buildings and built these massive big buildings with residences on top of them. There's a whole bunch of other areas right around there where you've got a lot of new apartment style buildings. So you're right there where you can walk to everything. In one of my previous videos, I talked about how Center Street, right there in the heart of downtown Provo, has become a great place for a lot of different international type of restaurants. And so you're within walking distance of all of that. Great entertainment, great food. I think there's several comedy clubs. There might be 2 comedy clubs right there. So there's just entertainment, a lot of fun stuff to do. But also just behind these buildings are some of the old neighborhoods of downtown where you have some really neat classic architectural homes built in the 1900s. These beautiful 2-story Victorian or other style homes. They're just very stately looking homes, or a lot of bungalow style homes built in the 1920s. So these homes are really close to the heart of downtown. I consider those to be part of the downtown area. They're very walkable. You can walk to any of these restaurants, to the places to have entertainment, get dessert, get a drink, whatever you want. It's all located right there. It's also very close to the Provo City Center Temple. So it's close to that. Anyway, great neighborhood, very walkable, close to all the entertainment you want to see. Now let's move into neighborhood number 2. I call that the Foothills neighborhood. And it's basically directly to the east of downtown. And I don't consider it quite walkable as far as being able to walk to restaurants or juice shops or anything like that, because it's you're going to want to hop in your car and take the 5 to 7 minute drive to any of those places. But it is close to a couple of great recreation areas. It's right next to the Seven Peaks Ice Rink or Arena. It was a venue for the 2002 Salt Lake Winter Olympics. I remember my wife and I had the chance to go there and watch some Olympic hockey games. All we remember is the other teams yelling Latvia, Latvia. So we always had fun remembering that. It was a good memory. Anyway, so that's right there. If you want to learn how to ice skate or get involved in hockey leagues or things like that, you've got that within close distance. It's also got a water park called the Splash Summit Water Park. I was driving past it this morning with my kids. My daughters were begging me to go there. It's just a lot of fun, a lot of slides and You've got a wave pool and lazy river, just all kinds of fun stuff for the kids. And that's all very walkable from the Foothills neighborhood. It's also close to BYU, so you're just a few minutes to drive to BYU if that's where you work, or again, just a few minutes to downtown if you need to get down there for shopping or entertainment. I would say that a big chunk of the homes were built in the mid-2000s, and they're mostly bigger size homes. I'd say anywhere between 4,000 to 6,000 square feet, a lot of those homes. They're big homes, but it's a beautiful neighborhood. There are some areas right around it. There's some apartment buildings in that area, as well as some homes that were probably built in the 40s and 50s that are technically considered the Foothills neighborhood. But generally, when people think of Foothills, they're thinking of the homes right next to the water park. Okay, so my next area, I'm going to pull out my map again. This is what I call the East Bench. So it's basically all these neighborhoods over here on the east side of Provo. They are right up against the mountains. And it actually consists of about 4 different neighborhoods, but I always call it the East Bench because these homes, again, they're right on the mountainside, very steep roads. They're up and down. Driveways are quite steep here. You usually have quite a few steps to get up in your house. But the flip side is you've got fantastic views of the valley overlooking all of BYU, looking over Utah Lake. So it's just a beautiful area. The East Bench really consists of about 4 neighborhoods. The Oak Hills neighborhood, which has a lot of mid-century modern style homes in it. You've got Rock Canyon, which is the neighborhood that's just directly above the Provo Temple. In that area, there are a lot of homes that were built in the 50s to the 80s. And then you've got the Indian Hills. It's also an area that has a lot of homes that are built in the 70s, 60s, and 70s. And then Sherwood Hills even further north. Kind of the further north you get on that East Bench, the homes tend to get a little bit bigger. They get looking like little mini mansions. I mean, some absolutely beautiful homes. Not particularly a walkable area unless you're into hiking, because you can go out your front door and go in your backyard and hike up the mountain. So it's great for that. You're close to, there's some great parks right there. You've got the Rock Canyon Park, beautiful, big, beautiful park to go to. So you got those nearby. And then again, it's just a few minutes drive down to anything else. I mean, if you worked at BYU, you could probably ride your bike down to BYU, and then it'd be quite a job to ride back up, but you could do it. So that's a really neat part of Provo is the East Bench area. Now, dropping down off from the East Bench, you'll get to what I call neighborhood, I'm calling it the neighborhood number 4, and that's the Riverbottoms. The Riverbottoms, in the Riverbottoms of Provo, and it's right in the middle of the valley, and that's where they call it the Riverbottoms because Provo River flows right through those neighborhoods. And you have a lot of just multi-million-dollar mansions in these areas. And there are a few other homes in there that aren't going to be multi-millions, but there's a bunch of them. A lot of gated communities. You have Stonegate in there and a couple other gated communities that you can't really even drive in unless you're a member of that. A lot of those homes, I would say they're probably built in the 80s all the way up until now, the present time. But it's a beautiful area. Lots of big trees. Of course, you got the river running through it. So that is area number 4. Number 5, I call it, it's called Edgemont. Edgemont is actually just down off the hill from the East Bench neighborhoods. And it's very flat. It's very different compared to the East Bench, which is a lot of rolling, well, steep hills, really, not even rolling hills, just steep mountain hills. And so that's kind of nice for those neighborhoods because their neighborhoods are very flat. The streets are flat and level. A lot of those homes in the in the Edgemont area were built in the 50s to the 80s. You have a lot of just Rambler style homes. Most of them, I'd say, probably around 1,200 square feet to 1,800 square feet on the main level with a basement that's about the same size. Now, if we move kind of across the Riverbottoms to the other side of Provo, and then you come to Grandview. And Grandview borders Orem, and if there weren't signs saying "Now welcome to Orem," you wouldn't even know that you weren't in Orem because it borders right on Orem. And this neighborhood has a lot of 2-story homes, bi-level homes, Rambler style homes built in the 70s and 80s. It's really close to everything. It's kind of very centrally located. Like it's just minutes to Utah Valley University, and it's minutes to University Place Mall in Orem, as well as University Avenue or Parkway, where there's a lot of shopping and things in Orem. But then again, it's also just minutes away to Brigham Young University, to University Avenue in Provo, where there's a lot of shopping, dining, entertainment options. So it's really a centrally located area of Provo. It's a great place to live. So that was Grandview. That is area number 6. Area number 7 is Lakeview. You pull out my map again. Lakeview is over here on the west side, and it's over by the lake. This is where I would say you kind of have more of the smaller homes, perhaps maybe the more affordable homes for a lot of people. And it's just so you know, the further west that you get as you get closer to the lake, the water table is higher, so you don't tend to see homes with basements out that way. And keep in mind, in Utah, it's pretty common and typical to have a basement in your home. But when it comes to the west side, you can't have them, or you're going to have water in your basement all the time. So it's very, very standard to see a bi-level style home, which is built up, kind of up out of the ground a little bit. You walk up some steps, come in a main door, and you'll have the option to walk up 3 or 4 steps to the main level, or go down 3 or 4 steps to the lower level. You'll see a lot of those homes that were built in the 70s, 80s, and 90s in that area, along with a lot of tri-level style homes. You're not going to see 4-level style homes, because that would get too deep in the ground. So you can see a lot of tri-levels. You also see a lot of Rambler style homes that are built on a slab, as well as 2-story style homes in that area. And it's not as close. It's definitely not walkable. There's not really a lot of restaurants or shops in that area, but it's not too far away. You just hop in the car in 10 minutes and you're at any of the shops or recreation that you want to get to. So that's your Lakeview area. Now, I promised you I'd tell you about a bonus area. I guess we'll call it the top 8. Here's my top 8. This is the bonus area. It's actually located inside the Riverbottoms, and it's called the Shops at Riverwoods. This is an outdoor mall that was built probably around 20 years ago, and they built it to be a very walkable community. So you have apartments or condos on the upper levels, and then you have really cute little shops on the lower levels, as well as you can walk across the street to the outdoor mall, the Shops at Riverwoods, where they have dining and entertainment and all kinds of stuff there. But also across the street, you have an AMC movie theater. And in that whole entire area, you also have multiple different office buildings. And you've got Qualtrics, which is a big tech company that's right there. And again, a lot of different office buildings that house banks and credit unions and title companies and mortgage companies. I mean, it's very possible that you could live in this neighborhood and never have to own a car if you worked in that area, because you could very easily walk to anything. And it's also a gateway to the Provo River Trail that runs up the canyon to Bridalveil Falls, or goes all the way down out through Provo and out to Utah Lake. So it's really kind of a bonus, neat area to live in if you want that walkability for a neighborhood. There's my top 7 of neighborhoods to live in Provo. Leave me some comments. Let me know what you think of this video. Let me know if you think I should have added another neighborhood. And just remember, I love it when people reach out to me. They're reaching out to me all the time about relocating to Provo, Utah and the surrounding area. I know all the areas. I would love to help you. Remember to subscribe and click on that notification bell every week as we put out new videos about living in Provo and the surrounding areas. You'll get notified, and we'd absolutely love to help you. Again, this has been Scott Walters with Living in Provo, Utah, and we'll see you next time.